Can you confirm with News Nation that you're running for president?
Boy, that would be a nice confirmation, wouldn't it? There'd be a lot of people that would be very upset about that. But I think you're going to be very happy. I think people are going to be very happy at what I do. I was going to do something last night, actually, that would have made the place really happy. And so we're doing it a few days later. And I think people are going to be very happy, very impressed.
To your predecessor, who is about to launch another campaign. So how do you reassure them, if that is the reason for their questioning, that the former president will not return, or that his political movement, which is still very strong, will not once again take power in the United States?
Well, we just have to demonstrate that he will not take power.
In order to make America great and glorious again, I am tonight announcing my candidacy for President of the United States.
There's breaking news out of Palm Beach, Florida. Former President Trump says his Mar-a-Lago home there is being raided by the FBI.
For the first time ever, a former president of the United States has been indicted.
Former President Donald Trump indicted for a second time.
A federal grand jury indicted former President Donald Trump. It marks the third time the former president has been indicted.
Breaking news on former President Trump. He's been indicted for the fourth time in 5 months.
Breaking news, this is an image that will be in the history books. This is the mugshot of the 45th President of the United States.
The optics of this is working to his advantage. Look.
Breaking news from Colorado, where the state Supreme Court has just disqualified former President Donald Trump.
Donald Trump found guilty on all 34 felony counts.
The total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Take a look at what happened.
The next president of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
I proudly accept your nomination for president of the United States.
Let Trumpomania run wild, brother!
So I've decided the best way forward is to pass the torch to a new generation.
She's going to my philosophy now. In fact, I was going to send her a MAGA hat. They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats.
Investigation underway after the second assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump.
As I was saying,
as you can see, I'm not just MAGA, I'm dark MAGA.
Get in there.
Let's go! I want to be a whale psychiatrist. I'm going for a job right now at McDonald's. I really wanted to do this all my life. I've now worked for 15 minutes more than Kamala.
The only garbage I see floating out there is your supporters.
How do you like my garbage truck? This truck is in honor of Kamala and Joe Biden.
Here are our first projections. There, NBC News projects that Donald Trump has won the presidential election in Kentucky, Indiana. In West Virginia, Donald Trump is the winner. Florida, Tennessee, Missouri, Alabama, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Arkansas, Texas, North Dakota, South Dakota. NBC News also projects a winner in the Wyoming presidential race, Mississippi, Louisiana, Ohio, Kansas, Utah, Montana, Iowa, the state of Nebraska in the presidential contest, Idaho. The first swing state is North Carolina, going to Donald Trump. Donald Trump has prevailed in the presidential race in Georgia. Pennsylvania. NBC now projects he is the winner of Michigan and its 15 electoral votes.
Donald Trump is the winner in Alaska, picking up 3 more electoral votes.
Donald Trump has won the state of Wisconsin. He is the winner of this race and will return to the White House as this country's 47th president.
Hey, look what happened. Is this crazy?
What's going on, everyone? Welcome into CobraCast 199. I am your host, Jeremy Prime, Mage IDOT of the 199. Happy to see all of you here for another CobraCast. I felt like earlier, because we did the hour, and I felt like there just wasn't enough time to, just chill and hang out. So figure I'd try to do another hour here at this late night. But there's also more news to talk about as well. So, we'll see. We'll see how it goes, and we'll see how all of you are doing. But there is a lot to talk about. And I want to show you something here that I saw that I think is very interesting, because we need to understand what exactly the mainstream is up to right now, and the things that are being called out with all of this stuff with Russia, blah 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 blah. Check this out right here. For all the people that are like, oh, was it that bad? We don't need to worry about it. This is what we're talking about. This is the narrative that the media created around Russia for the Obama administration right here.
To elect Trump is the end of our democracy. Votes were definitely affected. Russia hacked the election to tilt it to Mr. Trump.
The Russians definitively hacked the election.
Russia did hack the election.
No doubt. The Russians hacked the election.
Yes, Russia hacked the election.
Fact, Russia hacked the election.
President-elect Donald Trump still not sounding convinced that Russia hacked the election.
The president does not want to come to terms with the fact that the Russians hacked the election.
President Trump says he still wonders if the Russians hacked the election.
If you can get him to accept that Russia hacked the election, see if you can get him to accept who won the Civil War.
If he admits it, it casts a shadow on his victory over Hillary Clinton.
Russia hacked the election.
Russia hacked the election.
Russia hacked the election.
Russia hacked the election.
Let's be clear, Russia hacked the election.
Definitively, Russia hacked the election, and Russia is doing it again now.
Election-related cyber hacking.
Cyber hacking of U.S. elections.
Cyber hacking of the election.
Russia was cyber hacking the election.
Russia was cyber hacking the election.
The CIA, the FBI, NSA.
All of these intelligence organizations, 17 intelligence agencies,
all conclude that Russia hacked the election.
If we find out that Donald Trump just theoretically was colluding with Russia while they were hacking the election, that is completely impeachable.
This dossier alleged a conspiracy between the Trump campaign and the Russian effort to hack the election.
The director of national intelligence, the head of the National Security Agency, the head of the FBI, all of these intelligence experts saying Russia hacked the election.
There you have it right there. I mean, it's just so unbelievable. It's so unbelievable. Now, again, just so we're clear, this is what Tulsi Gabbard has exposed.
I'm going to go over the key findings from the House Intelligence Report, which investigated the claims that were made by an intelligence community assessment ordered by President Obama and published in January of 2017. First, Putin's principal interests relating to the 2016 election were to undermine faith in the U.S. democratic process, not show any preference of a certain candidate. In fact, this report shows Putin held back from leaking compromising material on Hillary Clinton prior to the election, instead planning to release it after the election to weaken what Moscow viewed as an inevitable Clinton presidency. In the January 2017 intelligence community assessment that President Obama ordered, John Brennan, who was CIA director at the time, and the intelligence community intentionally suppressed intelligence that showed Putin was saving the most damaging material that he had in his possession about Hillary Clinton until after her potential and likely victory. The report goes into great detail about the information that Russia and Putin had on Hillary Clinton, which included possible criminal acts like secret meetings with multiple named U.S. religious organizations in which State Department officials offered, in exchange for supporting Secretary Clinton's campaign for the presidency, significant increases in financing from the State Department. They also had documents that showed the patronage of the State Department to State Department employees who would go and support Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign. There were high-level DNC emails that detailed evidence of Hillary's, quote, psycho-emotional problems, uncontrolled fits of anger, aggression, and cheerfulness, and that then...
This is what I talked about earlier with Hillary. Hillary is completely unhinged. This woman is not in control of her emotions. Not the first time that's been said about a woman, but she's completely not in control at all. And they tried to lie and manipulate her into the White House by lying about President Trump. And so many people bought into it.
Secretary Clinton was allegedly on a daily regimen of heavy tranquilizers.
Heavy tranquilizers.
Then CIA Director Brennan and the intelligence community mischaracterized intelligence and relied on dubious substandard sources to create a contrived false narrative that Putin developed a quote-unquote clear preference for Trump. Brennan and the IC misled lawmakers by referencing the debunked Steele dossier to assess quote-unquote Russia's plans and intentions, falsely suggesting that this dossier had intelligence value when he knew that it was discredited. The intelligence community excluded significant intelligence and ignored or selectively quoted reliable intelligence that contradicted the intelligence community assessment's key findings on Putin's alleged support for Trump. Including this intelligence reporting would have exposed the ICA's claim as implausible, if not ridiculous.
Pez said that CNN cut away from this. Not surprising. Absolutely. CNN cut away from this during the live feed because they did not want people to hear it. CNN is the enemy of the people. And this is the biggest political scandal we've ever heard of. I mean, the reason I'm so invested in this is for obvious reasons, but like, I truly think Barack Obama is the single most damaging president in my lifetime. And I don't think it's even close. And I hated George W. Bush. I can't say I really hated Bill Clinton. I mean, you know, I'm not a fan of Bill Clinton, but I mean, I was really young when Bill Clinton, was, as president. But like, I remember George W. Bush. I remember how terrible he was. Looking at what Barack Obama did with the identity politics and the wokeness and the anti-police narrative and the racial division that he led, the weakness of America, all of that stuff that we're still trying to clean up, that's his legacy. Like, that's what Barack Obama did. Barack Hussein Obama, who was installed, no doubt about that. He was such a guarded candidate at the time. He was a one-term senator, a former community organizer who gave a speech at the DNC, and everybody started to think, oh, this guy's something else, because he gave one speech at the DNC and everybody freaked out. Went from a community organizer to a one-term senator to the most popular president in history until Joe Biden became the most popular president in history. And the impact of Barack Hussein Obama, if it wasn't for Trump, we would still be dealing with it, man. We really would. I've played that video many times where, Obama basically tried to make a point to destroy Donald Trump in front of all of his powerful elite friends, and it backfired gloriously on that day. And here we are now where, President Trump has essentially destroyed almost all of Barack Obama's legacy at this point in time. And this is capping it off right here.
The intelligence community assessment omitted reliably sourced information, such as how some Russian intelligence officials were, quote unquote, planning for candidate Hillary Clinton's victory, while others assessed neither Trump nor Clinton would respect Russia's interests. As was reflected in the ODNI documents that we released on Friday, multiple intelligence community assessments released in the months leading up to the November 2016 election concluded that Russia had neither the intent nor capability to impact the outcome of the U.S. election. On December 5th of 2016, the FBI and ODNI gave the House Intelligence Committee its first post-election classified briefing, in which there was no mention of Putin aspiring to elect Trump by either agency.
Boom.
The presidential daily brief, drafted on December 8th of 2016, stated that no Russian or criminal actors impacted vote counts. This document was pulled just hours before it was to be published due to, quote unquote, new guidance. If it had been published, it would have been briefed to both President Obama and President-elect Donald Trump. On December 9th, 2016, a National Security Council meeting was called to gather President Obama's senior national security officials, which included CIA Director Brennan, then Obama DNI James Clapper, Susan Rice, and others. Following that secret meeting, DNI Clapper's assistant sent an email to the intelligence community with the subject line, POTUS tasking on Russia election meddling. tasking ODNI leaders to create a new assessment per the president's request. The House Intelligence Committee Oversight Report that we released today reveals that, quote, unlike routine intelligence community analysis, the intelligence community assessment was a high-profile product ordered by the president, President Obama. It directed senior intelligence community agency heads and created an intelligence community assessment limited to just 5 analysts using one principal drafter. This is not something that occurs in the normal path of producing an intelligence community assessment that reflects the views across the intelligence community.
I want to remind everyone that the Democrats also tried to say that Tulsi Gabbard was a Russian agent as well. They put these labels on her years ago. Tulsi, I can't remember. I feel like Tulsi was nearly at the point where they wanted to anoint her almost like their new leader of the Democratic Party at one point in time, but she pissed them off, and they essentially picked Kamala Harris over her because I guess they found out that she could not be controlled, which is exactly what the Democratic Party wants, which tells you everything you need to know about the people that lead the Democratic Party. Yeah, she was the vice chair of the DNC. Exactly. Yeah. So, and she did. She endorsed Bernie over Hillary. And of course, Bernie Sanders completely stabbed Tulsi Gabbard in the back because of course he did, because Bernie Sanders is a complete and total coward, always has been, always will be. He's a piece of shit, but this is the Democrats. This is what they do. So you listen, the Democrats can look at all of the people that, they've stabbed in the back, and they have created this situation themselves. Tulsi could have been leading their party, and they screwed her over, and now she's destroying them.
The production of this intelligence community assessment was subject to unusual directives directly from the president and senior political appointees, especially the former director of the CIA, John Brennan. The House Intelligence Committee Oversight Report also shows how later that same day, on December 9th, Brennan ordered the publication of quote-unquote substandard reporting on Russian activities, which had previously been withheld from publication of prior assessments because the information was judged, quote, to have not met long-standing publication standards. Some of the information later used in the Obama-ordered assessment over the objections of veteran CIA officers was, quote unquote, unclear or from unknown sources. The Intelligence Committee's oversight report reveals that CIA Director Brennan overruled senior CIA officers who challenged the Obama-ordered intelligence assessment, stating, quote, we don't have direct information that Putin wanted to get Trump elected. Yet, the Obama-directed assessment was published on January 6, 2017, which explicitly stated, quote, we assess Putin and the Russian government aspired to help President-elect Trump's election chances when possible by discrediting Secretary Clinton and publicly contrasting her unfavorably to him, end of quote. The CIA and FBI, then led by John Brennan and James Comey, expressed high confidence in this judgment, while the NSA expressed moderate confidence. Yet, as the report we released today shows, the ICA, the Intelligence Community Assessment, did not cite any report where Putin indicated helping Trump win was an objective. The opposite is true.
So we're not going to listen, we've listened to some of this already, but the point being is that media clip that I showed you prior to this, that should show you how corrupt this entire situation is. And I mean, I remember hearing the Russia stuff forever. The media continues with their pathetic tactics and their pathetic narrative. And I don't know how this is going to end, but I'm just glad that Barack Hussein Obama's name is being dragged through the mud. I want to continue to see it dragged through the mud. I want to continue to see the words treason and traitor attached to Barack Hussein Obama, because that's exactly what he is. And I'm glad that this is playing out the way that it is. So again, I want to play the clip for you one more time just so we understand the levels that we're dealing with here. Here we go right here.
To elect Trump is the end of our democracy. Votes were definitely affected. Russia hacked the election to tilt it to Mr. Trump.
The Russians definitively hacked the election.
Russia did hack the election. No doubt. The Russians hacked the election.
Yes, Russia hacked the election.
Fact, Russia hacked the election.
President-elect Donald Trump still not sounding convinced that Russia hacked the election.
The president does not want to come to terms with the fact that the Russians hacked the election.
President Trump says he still wonders if the Russians hacked the election.
If you can get him to accept that Russia hacked the election, see if you can get him to accept who won the Civil War.
If he admits it, it casts a shadow on his victory over Hillary Clinton.
Russia hacked the election.
Russia hacked the election.
Russia hacked the election.
Russia hacked the election.
Let's be clear, Russia hacked the election.
Definitively.
Definitively.
Russia hacked the election, and Russia is doing it again now.
Election-related cyber hacking.
Cyber hacking of U.S. elections. Cyber hacking of the election.
Russia was cyber hacking the election.
Russia was cyber hacking the election.
The CIA, the FBI, NSA,
all of these intelligence organizations, 17 intelligence agencies,
all conclude that Russia hacked the election.
If we find out that Donald Trump just theoretically was colluding with Russia while they were hacking the election, that is completely impeachable.
This dossier alleged a conspiracy between the Trump campaign and the Russian effort to hack the election.
The director of national intelligence, the head of the National Security Agency, the head of the FBI, all of these intelligence experts saying Russia hacked the election.
It's unbelievable. It really is. And you know, I saw this clip earlier. One of our least favorite people in all of media is Caitlin Collins of CNN. And just watch how Tulsi, just like this question right here, Tulsi Gabbard is a fucking badass. Like, she is absolutely a badass. Just watch her mannerisms and her attitude towards Caitlin Collins right here.
Caitlin. Thank you, Caroline. 2 questions for Director Gabbard. Just on this, Director Gabbard, you referenced the past intelligence reports and assessments on this, including that 2017 one that was signed off, as Ed noted, by every Republican on the Senate Intelligence Community, including the acting chair of the time, now Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who said in a statement that they did not find any evidence of Russian collusion, but they did find, however, is very troubling, and they found irrefutable evidence of Russian meddling. One, are you saying that he's wrong in that statement that he made then? And secondly, what would you say to people who believe that you're only releasing these documents now to improve your standing with the president after he said that your intelligence...
Look at her. Look at the look on her face. She's like, oh, you dumb bitch. You dumb bitch. I love that.
Who believe that you're only releasing these documents now to improve your standing with the president after he said that your intelligence assessments were wrong.
Well, first, I want to correct something that you stated, which was citing the Senate Intelligence Committee's report as being one and the same. I think you said the intelligence community. The Senate Intelligence Committee has a very different function than the Office of the Director of National Intelligence. The evidence and the intelligence that has been declassified and released is irrefutable. I'm going to let Caroline speak to Secretary Rubio.
I'll speak to both questions. First, on Secretary Rubio, he put out a statement in 2020 following that Senate Intelligence Committee report, and he said what they found is troubling. We found irrefutable evidence of Russian meddling, which the Director of National Intelligence just confirmed for all of you, that Russia was trying to sow distrust and chaos. But what's the outrage in this that Secretary Rubio did not say at the time, the Democrats were saying at the time, is the fact that the intelligence community was concocting this narrative that the president colluded with the Russians, that the president's son was holding secret meetings with the Russians, all of these lies that were never true. And he also said at that time, we discovered deeply troubling actions taken by the FBI under Comey, particularly their acceptance and willingness to rely on the Steele dossier without verifying its methodology or sourcing. The Steele dossier that many outlets in this room ran as the gospel truth, and it was cooked up and paid for by the Clinton campaign. As for your second question, Caitlin, I think who is saying that she would release this to try to boost her standing with the president? Who has said that?
Well, the president has publicly undermined her when it came to Iran. He said she was wrong. He told me that she didn't know what she was talking about. That was on Air Force One on camera. camera.
The only people who are suggesting that the director of national intelligence would release evidence to try to boost her standing with the president are the people in this room who constantly try to sow distrust and chaos amongst the president's cabinet, and it is not working. I will just answer your question directly. I am with the president of the United States every day. He has the utmost confidence in Director Gabbard. He always has. He continues to, and that is true of his entire cabinet, who is all working as one team to deliver on the promises this president made.
Dude, the fact that Tulsi just stood there and was like, I'm just going to let her handle my insignificant business. She didn't even flinch, bro. She didn't even flinch. Like, that was badass. So I love seeing it. And, you know, the mainstream is really struggling right now because they're trying their best to kind of spin this around to the point where, you know, obviously, you know, we saw what happened with the Wall Street Journal today. And again, there's a lot of people that are really, really retarded that are falling for it. But like, so today, the Wall Street Journal released a clickbait headline about Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. And do you know what they did? They put it behind a paywall. The Wall Street Journal purposely made the Trump stuff, put the stuff behind the Trump stuff behind a paywall. So the only thing people would see is the headline. The article itself admits a bunch of other names were in the documents, and they didn't think it was credible and believed it was bullshit. Notice what's going on here. This is what's going on here. And how many people ran with that headline? Every fucking body ran with that headline. Everybody ran with it. Nobody wants to do any research whatsoever. But you know, this is what the mainstream does. This is what the mainstream does. So not surprising at all. First of all, thank you, everyone. Just G dropped 5 gifted memberships before the stream even started. Thank you. Mez with 10 gifted memberships. Thank you. Phil with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you. 1992 Space Movie with $20 says, hey, Bondi. See how Tulsi waited to go to the press once she had everything at hand and didn't edge the public by saying you have the list on your desk and she's releasing the documents for public viewing. Do better, Bondi. Boom. Holy shit. You are 1,000. This is a perfect comment right here. Tulsi Gabbard is doing it the right way. Pam Bondi was more concerned with being on TV and talking and hyping shit up, and she has made a fool of herself. I will never forget, you know, when she was on with Jesse Waters, and she's like, you're probably going to see some Epstein stuff tomorrow. And it's like, that type of language, like, it always stood out to me that the way that she said that told me that she didn't even understand or care about the weight of this. When she says, I think you're going to see some Epstein stuff tomorrow. And you're like, you're the attorney general. Why are you talking like that? I think you're going to see some Epstein stuff tomorrow. Breaking news, Jesse. That's exactly what she said. And I'm like, what? And looking back on it, it's so bad. And yes, you are 100% right about the way Tulsi has handled this versus how Bondi handled it. It was a disaster. Dr. Tips for $9.99 says, I just went through a rabbit hole of sex dolls. I didn't know how advanced everything has gotten. What the hell? They can do almost everything now. Future is bleak. Enjoy your travels. What? I mean, I appreciate it. So thank you. Magnum Norris says, don't you find it interesting that Colbert gets fired at the same time that this information comes out? I find it very interesting. Maybe. I mean, I don't know if Colbert's tied to this. I mean, I do think that it's as simple as Colbert has lost the company a lot of money and he's continuing to make things worse day by day. So I don't know if that's a coincidence or not. I mean, you know, I'm not going to say that it's definitely off the table, but I don't know. I do have something to play about Colbert really quick. By the way, checking it out, dropped 10 gifted memberships. Thank you. Checking it out. 10 gifted memberships. Holy crap. Thank you so much. Gifties are flying, ladies and gentlemen. Let me find this right here. This clip that I want to show you in reference to one Stephen Colbert. Right here. Is this it? No, that's not it. Let me find it. I've had a lot of bookmarks today because today has just been an absolutely insane day. There's just been insane stuff all over the place. Is this it right here? No. It was Kevin O'Leary. Kevin O'Leary said something about Stephen Colbert earlier, and it was really funny because he was basically like, he needs to be fired right now. Like, he doesn't even, I can't find it right now for some reason. Let me search Kevin O'Leary. Okay. Well, if I could spell his name correctly. Spelling is a crucial part of searching something out on the internet. He essentially said that Colbert needs to be fired immediately, like right now. Like, don't even waste any time on it. Just fire Colbert immediately. Bookmarks really do suck on Twitter right now, so I'll see if I can find it here in a minute because these bookmarks are all screwed up. But thank you checking it out for the 10 gifted memberships. Dart Schwartz rising for 20 says no longer MIA. F the flu. Almost 2 weeks wasted. What I miss. Hail the 199 brother. If you're offline for an hour, you've missed and like today I was off Twitter for an hour. I refreshed my feed and I felt like I'd missed 20 years of content. And I'm like, holy crap, this thing is happening way too fast. Like, I couldn't keep up. Like, Epstein news is dropping, and then Obama news is dropping, and then more Epstein stuff. And then, like something crazy here. This person's here. It's absolutely nonstop. It's been a wild few days. Yeah, Lance Finn says 2 weeks. You missed 4 new world wars. 4 new World War IIIs. Yeah, exactly. And that's just how it is, man. So you've missed a lot. That would be the easy answer, is to say you've missed a lot. Here's one Kevin O'Leary comment that I found about one Hunter Biden. I haven't heard this one yet, but I did bookmark it.
I watch this. Is he setting himself up to go into new media, podcast, maybe streaming, something where he's a voice that represents the angry Democratic platform that he is? I think clearly that's the position he's putting forward. That's one side. On the other side, which I think he has to try and balance, he's trashing his family brand a little bit here. I mean, whether you like Biden or you don't, and I understand the last few years of his mandate it had big issues that were not addressed in that interview. But you got to remember, he was a lawmaker for decades and a respected one, even if you didn't believe in his policies. But this is, in my view, if this was my son, I'd take him behind the barn with a stick and I'd beat him.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
You've seen the cussing ones.
You just don't do. The family brand is being trashed. That's my view, and I think that's a horrible way to end it for the original Biden.
Man, I'm just telling you right now, when I was a kid and my grandmother was going to get the Switch, not the Nintendo Switch, by the way, it was a whole different meaning for the Switch back then. And if I was bad enough, she would make me go find the Switch outside. And if it wasn't up to standard, she would make me go find another one and said, I'm going to hit you harder. And man, let me tell you what, I knew I was in trouble. And that's how it was back in the day. The youngins won't know anything about. They hear Switch and they're thinking Nintendo Switch. And but back in the day, when my grandmother was talking about, hey, I'm gonna get you a Switch, and that was not what I wanted to hear. All right, that was not what I wanted to hear at all. Also, back in the day when I was in school, because I'm old, paddlings. That's right. Paddlings. And those were tough. I've talked about that a few times on this channel before. But principal, you find out, if you get in trouble, go to the principal's office. Man, oh man. And that was tough, man. I spent a lot of time in the principal's office because I was always in trouble. And man, getting a paddling is certain ones, like the term soy boy didn't really exist back then, but we had some bitch made principals, and especially if the assistant principal or if it was a woman, you're like, I can get in trouble if it's a woman. But if the male principal who was absolutely like feared, you did not want him to be the one to give the paddling. You didn't want it. It was not a good situation. So, but yeah, you're like, oh, the assistant principal, she's not going to hit you hard, So, those are the good old days, man. Nowadays, everybody has fucking pronouns and shit, and you can't offend anybody, which is ridiculous. Little Jims says Jeremy loves going to Bro Island with Berto and Dan. Is it Dan? Playing retro games and working up a sweat with all the testosterone and hot men while Miki watches. Mike, let's see, MAGA Cracker Mike. That's Mike S, who says, I like how South Park joked about Trump and the left acts like they haven't done this before. They have no idea they're about to be clowned onto. Yeah, I guess I saw that South Park made fun of Trump, and I don't know if people are like, seriously, is anyone upset about this? This is called South Park. South Park goes after everyone. So I don't have a problem with that. There's no real Trump supporter who has a problem with South Park going after Trump. There can't be. I refuse to believe that there's a real Trump supporter that is offended that South Park went after Trump. Like, okay, that's what South Park does. That's why we love South Park. That's why we always like South Park. So, let's see. Hydrocoptic Mike says, just an FYI, episode counter stuck at 199. Unseen Dimension says, why the luck are you here? It's too much goodness. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. That was really nice. Dark Schwartz Rising for 20 says, as per my previous, I'm way behind on the news, but damn, what a show by Ozzy and Black Sabbath. I don't think we've seen the last of them. Well, buddy, I got bad news for you since you've been out of the loop. But that was I mean, I know you know, but yes, RIP to Ozzy, the great Ozzy Osbourne. Sleep Peas with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you. The Under Armour Gamer says, what I meant last stream was I hated Superman. Good on you. Hey, listen, I saw a post, and so again, I've made this comment before. As a professional wrestler, I am a fan of CM Punk. I do not like Phil Brooks, the human being. Phil Brooks, the human being, is a left-wing nut job. All right. So this should put it into perspective, my view of people that like the new Superman movie. CM Punk says the new Superman movie is the best DC movie ever, apart from Batman. Now, I have a lot of questions about this. Okay. First of all, calling it the best DC movie ever apart from Batman is fucking insane. Secondly, what Batman? What Batman? Like, I hate that this is like the fact that I don't know if it's just a person that's putting it up there because it's like, apart from Batman, what Batman? I mean, you're not right, period. But the fact that it just generically says from Batman, what Batman? Are you talking about Batman 89? Are you talking about The Dark Knight? Are you talking about The Dark Knight Rises? Are you talking about Batman Begins? Are you talking about Batman Returns? Are you talking about Batman Forever? Batman and Robin? What are you talking about? or the Batman. Which one are you talking about? Batman 89 is how you talk about Batman 89. So either way, the fact that Phil Brooks thinks that this is the best DC movie apart from generic Batman tells you everything you need to know about it. I thought the movie sucked. I hated it. But thank you, Under Armour Gamer. Mike S says Tulsi in her rogue era, and it couldn't be better. 100% true. Mike S says Tulsi could have been the one to go against Trump and win. Instead, Democrats chose Montel Williams' side bitch. Now she's one of us. MAGA baby. Absolutely. Little Jim's Halo says, I hope Tulsi security is working overtime right now. I agree. Tulsi Gabbard is obviously, I hope that they have, I would imagine they have the best security possible with her. But look at this right here. She doesn't give a fuck right now. Look, she just calls people out right here. Listen to her.
There are still people, won't surprise you, within the intelligence community who don't want this information to see the light of day. Some of them may be implicated in the crafting of it. Others are concerned about people being embarrassed. Others are concerned about accountability. We have members of the media who were complicit in this from the very beginning, who were leaked early copies of this, or at least lines from this January 2017 Obama manufactured intelligence assessment. They printed what they were fed. People like Ellen Nakashima from the Washington Post, who, by the way, went on to win a Pulitzer Prize.
Naming names. Look at Tulsi go.
Because for years she was so good at lying and not telling the truth to the American people that they gave her an award for it. There are still people.
Tulsi is on fire. As Trump said, she's the hottest one in the room. I agree, President Trump. Bird Up says deport Obama. I do like the Babylon Bee headline. Barack Obama claims he cannot be charged with treason because he was not born in the United States of America. Nightmare for Ted says, seriously, my American bros, send that little stain Colbert to my place. He needs not going to say it, but thank you. Appreciate it. Let's see. Phil says, got my car back from the shop. Feels good to have wheels again. Also, you are where I go for news. And yes, I'm retarded. See, you already know. You already know. If you're here for the news, you're retarded just like I'm retarded. And that's okay. All right? That's okay. Bird Up says, Hillary smeared Tulsi. I got that one. Thank you, Bird Up. You're correct about that. JRG Project says, I would start freezing assets and seizing passports because we all know many of these people will run overseas. The sad reality of it is I just don't think that I don't think Obama is going to be held accountable. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I am hoping and praying I'm wrong. I just don't think that. What is this? Hang on. Breaking and hang on. Oh, there's another Epstein thing that was from earlier today. Missed it. But anyway, so yeah, I just think there's gonna be lower level people that will ultimately take the fall. And I'm just going based on, what I've seen in the past. I absolutely think there's enough evidence based on what we're hearing that Obama should go down, but it's Barack Obama. You know what I mean? I don't know. I've never wanted to be more wrong about anything in my life than I am this. I really, really, really want to be wrong. Let's see. All right. So I'm not going to play much, but I'll play this. Okay. Right here. So here's a clip of Trump on South Park. I gotta watch it, dude. I bet it's freaking great. Everybody's talking about it right now. So yeah, it was hard to hear. So there's a lot of clips, but South Park's pretty tough about those clips, so I really can't play them. But I'm seeing some stuff on Twitter, so you guys should just search it out if you want, and you'll see it. So another thing that happened earlier is that something crazy happened. And again, this shows you the Trump timeline. And I heard someone make this reference, and I'm going to make it as well, because this season of Earth is the best season of Earth we've ever had in terms of watching this television show play out before our very, very eyes. Because you've got Macron suing Candace Owens because Candace Owens has been calling his wife a man. All right. And apparently, okay. So Emmanuel Macron is like suing Candace Owens. All right. And then I haven't seen this. All right. But this is Candace Owens' response to the lawsuit. Okay. Like, what is happening?
You were born a man and you will die a man. That's the point I'm making. So give us a sample. I'll send my doctors to take your blood, figure it out real quick, however you want to go about this. Hey, how about just giving us some pictures again of you growing up, raising your children? That would be fine. For whatever reason to phone, by the way, like I said, we'll get to the bottom of it, right? That is what Discovery is for. I'm going to ask a lot of questions. You're probably hoping, this will go away, and at least we'll say we sued her. We'll say we went after her. She'll probably file for this to get dismissed. I'd like to make it to Discovery. I think that we owe that to the world. Anyways, you guys, we are revolting against this. We're revolting against the perverts that run the world. And I want to be very clear here. I count you among them. I think you're sick. I think you're disgusting. And I am fully prepared to take on this battle on behalf of the entire world. Okay? That's what I'm going to say. On behalf of the entire world, I will see you in court.
Again, this season of Earth is by far, like, the writers continue to outdo themselves every step of the way. Just when you think this season of Earth can't get any better, we get this. So I don't know I just don't know, man. What a world we're living in right now. It is absolutely insane. The level of insanity and the level of stories that are out there. You got a world leader suing Candace Owens because Candace Owens says that his wife is a man. What is happening right now? Holy shit, man. Like, you can't make this up. Now, I saw this clip earlier. Let's see. Baltimore Ravens head coach John Harbaugh, apparently a woke sports reporter, tried to bait him into going after President Trump. I have not seen this clip at all. So let's watch this and hear what is said. I can barely hear it.
Denigrating things about Baltimore, including who there. I was a prominent representative of Baltimore.
Well, how you frame that question? I would frame the question like, you got a chance to go visit with the president, man. What was that experience like? It was amazing. It was awesome. And I promise you, I root for our president. I want our president to be successful, just like I want my quarterback to be successful, and I want my team to be successful. And it was an amazing experience. It's not often you get invited and you get a chance to do something like that as a family. We were there. My daughter was there. Jim's daughters were there. My mom and dad were there. My mom and President Trump, just seeing how he treated her was really meaningful.
What an awesome answer from John Harbaugh of the Baltimore Ravens. So I didn't hear exactly what the reporter said, but the reporter was asking some type of loaded question in reference to President Trump, and John Harbaugh completely flipped it on him and destroyed him. And this is what you like. You have to be smarter than these idiots. You can't let them bait you into these nonsensical, ridiculous questions that is only going to bring you bad press and bad PR. Unless, of course, you just are, overrun with TDS. But I mean, I personally don't give a shit if John Harbaugh likes Trump or doesn't like Trump. I don't care. What I do care about is that he is smart enough to realize that answering a loaded question from a leftist reporter and giving them the time of day is always a mistake. And that right there was a masterclass in how you do it. So shout out to him. That's what we want from sports. We just want them to shut the fuck up about politics and real world stuff. Shut up and dribble. That's what what's his name? LeBron got offended over. And that's exactly what I want out of all of my athletes, movie stars, actors, all of that. Shut up and dribble. That's it. Shut up and throw the football. That's it. Okay, so oh my God. Guys, I'm about to show you the biggest case of TDS you may ever see. I know that's a big statement. But as soon as you see who we're talking about, you're going to see. Keith Olbermann, ladies and gentlemen. Keith Olbermann. Keith Olbermann is a deranged lunatic. Keith Olbermann has some serious mental issues. I want you to listen to what he has to say right here about the Obama situation. Just listen.
On the new Thursday Countdown podcast, according to Politico, Trump is clearly furious. According to a source they quote close to the White House, it's the first time I've seen them sort of paralyzed, with the White House in paralysis. It is time for Barack Obama to respond to the madness of Donald Trump and his accusations against Obama, not merely because he should refute these charges, quote, treason, unquote, but it provides him a unique opportunity to get this off the dime. Only a former president so accused can actually command the gravity and the gravitas to demand a retraction or threaten Trump with a lawsuit for defamation and slander and seek some crazy figure in damages, say $500 billion in damages, something to create more chaos, something to kick the Trump White House down the stairs while it is paralyzed. Plus, it is time for Obama to demand to organize a convention of all the forces opposed to Trump in order to gather together all the strengths this nation has to peacefully remove Trump and his gang from the White House immediately. The speech Barack Obama should give on Thursday Countdown podcast. Now live wherever you podcast.
Dude, like, I don't know if, like, I truly don't know. Is Keith Olbermann this crazy or is it an act at this point? Like, it's so insane. The things that he says, it's so insane that he has to be running a gimmick. He has to be. Like, is anybody this insane? I don't know, man. I mean, I know he's crazy. I know he's unhinged, but it feels like he's just buying into the character that he has become and just leaning into it. It's, kind of like how, I grift, I'm sarcastic, not to this level, but you lean into stuff sometimes, I'm retarded. My parents might be brother and sister. I'm bald. I'm a Mossad agent. You just sarcasm. But like he's just so lost in his Trump hate that it's just fucking insane to me, dude. It's insane. I truly think like he hates Trump. There's no doubt about that. He hates Trump, but like look at his interactions on like this guy has 935,000 followers and his interactions are awful. And he just posts the same shit. Oh. Hey, how you doing? Wasn't expecting to see that on Keith Olbermann's timeline, but that was it's a nice little surprise right there. I don't really want to keep scrolling, to be honest. I kind of
what
just
you are, what your politics are. That's what I said when I swore on my oath in that Oval Office in the picture you just showed. So I'll continue to do so.
I respect her. I've lost all, like, I don't even know what the hell I was talking about. Oh, Keith Olbermann. Anyway, yeah, Keith Olbermann, absolute nut job. And yeah, I do think he's probably leaning into it some. That would be my guess anyway. Let's see. Sin, let's see, for 999 says 1 a.m. CobraCast is gold. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Slain Hope says, turn your head, Jeremy. Are you sporting a Florida mullet? I don't know. What do you think, chat? What do you think? I told you I'm going to let my hair grow out. I have not. It's been months. It's a fucking disaster, bro. It's really bad. Mike S says Trump is pissed and he is unleashing his weapons. Jake says replace Kathleen Kennedy with Hunter Biden as head of Lucasfilm already. Let's see. Coop for 50. Let's see. I lost my dad a year ago. My mom fell and was in home hospice. I had to give her pain medication every 4 hours for 5 days till I found her dead. And then a few weeks later, my brother died. You are the fellowship that kept me sane. Thank you. And I appreciate the gamer word at the end. Well, brother, I am so sorry to hear that. I always look at like, family is the most important thing in the world. And I am, I'm very, very lucky that I have really great family. I really do. I've been very lucky from that perspective. So I can't understand what you're going through. But what I do know is that, I've always thought about it from this perspective. Because I mean, while I think I have a lot of positives in my life, I've had some setbacks for sure that I'll never, talk about on the internet stuff, because everybody has problems in life. It's just, no matter how perfect someone's life might seem, I promise you it's not. No one's life is perfect. But the things that we go through definitely, build us for the future. And the things you've been through, it's absolutely horrific, brother. So that's crazy. I didn't, and this is the thing that I lose focus on sometimes on the internet when I'm live streaming and maybe somebody comes in my chat and says something to me and I sarcastically respond. Maybe they're going through some shit and they just wanted to talk about, talk some shit to somebody on the internet, and me talking shit back to them. Hopefully they understand that it's all in good fun, but you never know what somebody's going through. That's the truth of it. You never know. So like Coop, you've been in my chat forever. I had no idea that you had gone through all that, brother. So respect to you, prayers up to you. And thank you for, hanging out with us, man. So let's see. Jeremy is pretending to be drunk. I don't know how to pretend to be drunk because I've never been drunk. But I could probably pull it off if I needed to. Bubba Doom says, folks need to remember Tulsi is a colonel. That's no joke. She's a serious woman, not to be trifled. 100%. Absolutely. Magnum Norris says Tulsi Gabbard equals strong woman, strong badass woman. Let's see. Mike S says Tulsi is an ex-liberal like me who's seen the truth. Magnum Norris says cat fight. Magnum Norris says Yarp Bondi messed up and Tulsi stepped up. One has military experience, the other exactly. I see everybody throwing positive vibes to Coop's way. That's good stuff. Thank you guys. Slain Hope says South Park Trump clip going viral. Luke posted full. Yeah, I can't watch it here. I know a lot of people are reacting to it, but I cannot react to it here on YouTube, unfortunately. But from what I've seen, it looks funny. And I swear to God, man, if any Trump supporter is going to be offended over that, they're not a real Trump supporter or they're too bitch made to be taken seriously. Now, on the flip side, you'll probably see a lot of libertarians try to make a big deal, like even South Park's going after Trump now. And it's like, yeah, South Park goes after everybody. This is not a big deal. This is not a big deal at all. This is funny. And it's okay to roast Trump. It's okay. Let's see. Phil says maybe Bondi's parents are Ma and Pa Kent from James Gunn's Superman. Nightmare says, let's see. Ease up, Griggsy. On my way to, let's see. I don't know where that's at. For a well-earned break. This war has taken its toll. Wish you were with me, the woman. Ouch. Got your 6. Thank you, Nightmare. Appreciate it. Angel for the 199 super sticker. Thank you. Coop says, sorry, correcting my previous super. I meant gay. It's all good, brother. It's all good. Ryan Miller says, Pam Bondi should take notes on how to give out information correctly without hyping shit up and saying it's on my desk. Bullshit. Tulsi is doing it right. 1000%. Magna Norris says, Colbert eats weenies for spare change. Mike S says, Kevin O'Leary told the zombies on CNN he would fire Colbert in 4 seconds after he bashed his own bosses and lost $40 million a year. Yep. The fact that he gets paid that much is absolutely insane. Fantastic Knox says, you got the paddle, I got the bamboo stick. Kevin Cron says, Jeremy, have you seen ALX on X with Epstein and him talking in the 5th when discussing Bill Clinton on his island? I did see some of those clips from ALX. And oh, by the way, so I'm glad you said that because there is some news. So let me see if this is still valid. I bookmarked it a little while ago. And so right here, yeah, here we go. Trump's Department of Justice is reportedly meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell tomorrow. So there you go. What's going to come from that? I don't know. But apparently they're meeting with her tomorrow. So like I said, someone asked about, pardons and all of that. And I personally don't, I don't want this woman to get a pardon. I really don't. There's a lot of nuance that goes with that. So if she's willing to give information that can lead to, other people being, exposed, then it's like, yeah, I guess so. But it's just hard for me to say that I want an evil person like this to get any type of pardon, because she is evil. She is an evil person based on what she was found guilty of. She's evil. Not much time left. Let's see. Let's see. She was the talent scout. That's exactly from what I understood, that's exactly what she was. And she's just as disgusting as Jeffrey Epstein. Just as disgusting. So it's like, oh no, Tree Bear. Oh my God. Tree Bear. R.K. Olbermann. Oh, that is nightmare fuel, bro. That is nightmare fuel. Holy crap, Tree Bear. Good Lord. Isaac, what's up? Isaac says, hail, dude. Thanks for the streams. Appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for hanging out. Slain Hope says, Jeremy only respects breaking news from gay furries. What's the name of that fucking account? Raw Alerts or whatever. That's the gay furry account. Jeremy the Cyborg says, with my dad, you wanted to avoid any discipline. With my mom, her slaps knocked you 3 ways from Sunday. Yep. Let's see. Nader123 says, I slept halfway through Superman. Such a boring movie. And the dog is super annoying, just like Scrappy Doo. Yeah, I hated the dog. Oh, man. Dark Schwartz Rising for 20 says, oh, man, are you growing a ponytail? Not really. My hair is, I don't know how to explain what my hair looks like. I have, again, the closest thing I can, fucking hell, Tree Bear is going to make a fucking meme of this. So the closest thing I can show you to what my hair is this right here. Let me see if I can find it. Jesus. This is pretty much it right here. Let me open this up. This is pretty much my hair right here. Yep. It's going to be May. That's pretty much my hair. So, there it is. So, yep. You'll see it one day. Because I can't, I really, like, I don't like having, like, I've always shaved my head. Always. Clippers. Number 2 clipper, shave my head. So, I really, I'm doing this because, I want to see, I'm doing it to see how far out I can grow. This is the longest my hair has ever been. And, but I don't have a receding hairline. I'm not losing my hair. It's fucking crazy. So, but, Mike S says Obama won't go down unless it's on Big Mike. Dark Swords Rising. Oh yeah, I got that one. NPC Hero for 20 says, hey Jeremy, Geeks and Gamers sub and fan since 2017. Any updates on the direction that the channel brand may be going? I've noticed a lot of your time has been on this channel, which you do a great job with. Just curious about Geeks and Gamers. Thanks. Well, thank you for the question. I greatly appreciate that. Yeah, I briefly talked about this the other night on a CobraCast, but yeah, I mean, with all the things that I cover, I have kind of, I kind of got in my head a little bit with the main Geeks and Gamers channel, because I felt like, and this is the big thing that happens to a lot of YouTubers, no matter how big their channels are or small, but especially if you have a channel that was built off of something. And I kind of felt a little lost on the main Geeks and Gamers channel in terms of like the content that I know that the channel's been built off of versus the content that I was wanting to make. And so I got a little insecure on it, because I was like, I don't want to make woke Hollywood content anymore, because I don't fucking care about woke Hollywood content anymore. I just don't care. And so I'm probably going to start making videos that are a lot less algorithm friendly, but at least the people that want to watch them will watch them, much like how Jay's doing on his channel. I'm very happy with Jay and Fear the Beardo. They're stepping outside of the box and making content that isn't necessarily algorithm friendly, but it's content that they want to make. And even if less people are watching it, at least the people that are watching it are enjoying it. And that's exactly what I want to start doing on the main Geeks and Gamers channel. Talk about fucking the video games that I'm playing, or old school video games that I'm into, or movies that I do like, and all that shit. Like, I just don't care about woke Hollywood anymore. I don't fucking care. They can all go to hell. I don't care. There might be random stuff that catches my attention, like the James Gunn Superman stuff caught my attention, because I don't think that Superman is necessarily woke. I don't think that's the problem with it at all. And I thought there was an interesting discussion to be had about that. But yes, I will make more content for, the main Geeks and Gamers channel. And we do have Geeks and Gamers 2, which a lot of our clips from our live streams are going up to on. But yeah, I think I'll probably, when I get back home, which is next week, I think I'm going to just make an update video of like, hey, here's the update for the Main Geeks and Gamers channel. And so I can go ahead and let the people know that are there for, hey, we need you to bitch about Brie Larson and woke movies. And I'm like, I don't really, I don't care about Hollywood anymore. I don't think that they're going to listen. And there's a lot of stuff that I do watch that I do like. There's a lot of shows and stuff that I like. And so I'd rather talk about that shit than woke fucking Hollywood. That's not to say other people shouldn't cover it. I'm fine with it. Like, I have a ton of friends that still cover this shit. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. Because what I do shouldn't have any effect on what someone else does. I've been doing it for so long. There's nothing wrong with that content. So I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying that I don't have the passion for it that I used to have. I think that people that continue to make that content have my full blessing, and they should continue to roast the living shit out of these people. It's just not something that I have the passion for. You know what I mean? So, but thank you for asking. I appreciate it. And I owe all the subscribers of that channel an apology for just slacking off on that channel. And I know I've been focused on all these other channels and directions, but it is what it is. But thank you. SSJ Lalo says, I respect Tulsi a lot. Obama isn't gay. He has relationships with women and intercourse with men. We actually have the clip right here. SSJ Lalo. Where's it at? Hang on. Let me find it. We have the Obama edit. Where's the Obama edit of that one? Here it is. I think this is the Obama edit.
I am not gay. I have relationships with women and sex with men.
And I got news for you. That means you're gay.
Shit. Funny as hell, man. I love that clip. Bird Up says Keith Olbermann is proof that all male feminists eventually morph into Rosie O'Donnell as they age. See also Mark Cuban and Michael Moore. Yeah, Michael Moore, that dude. What a fucking waste of human space he is. Okay, we got more to talk about, so I'm not going anywhere. So let's see here. I want to see if there's any update. Yeah, I'm seeing these like, oh my God, Tree Bear. What the fuck? He's too quick. It's so fast. Bro, it's so fast. Holy crap, dude. I messaged Tree Bear the other day. I'm like, who the fuck are you? Like, what is your deal? Like, it's so fast. I was like, it's really impressive. It really is. So, okay. So more stuff. Let me show you this right here. Jesse Waters had a clip that I wanted to check out. I like Jesse Waters. He had this clip, and it's he's kind of covering the Tulsi Gabbard stuff. And the title of his video is let me find it. It's time for these people to pay the price. That's what Jesse Waters had to say. Let's hear what he has to say. Here we go.
Releasing a bombshell report today that shows a conspiracy by a sitting president, Barack Obama, and his intel agencies to sabotage the president-elect, Donald Trump, brainwash the electorate, and undermine the legitimacy of an election.
There is irrefutable evidence that detail how President Obama and his national security team directed the creation of an intelligence community assessment that they knew was false. They knew it would promote this contrived narrative that Russia interfered in the 2016 election to help President Trump win, selling it to the American people as though it were true. It wasn't.
Gabbard got her hands on a House intel report that's been locked away in a CIA vault for almost a decade. Investigators spent over 2,000 hours looking into how the Russia hoax was born, interviewing 20 CIA and FBI officials. And it turns out that the Obama administration doctored the intelligence to make it look like Putin and Trump stole the election.
This is like next level shit, by the way. Like, we can't dismiss this. I know there's a lot of people that are dismissing the severity of this because we don't think that anything is going to happen. And I'm right there with most people. I question if anything's actually going to happen. But that doesn't change the fact this is a big fucking deal. This is horrible, actually. This is worse than you could have imagined. And the fact that we're even talking about this, I was plugged into the political world when Barack Obama won his first election and the fucking world loved him and everybody was going crazy for him and everybody was like, praising all of this bullshit with him, whatever. I remember how beloved he was by the mainstream media, Hollywood, all of that. I remember it. The fact that and again, I'm using common sense with this. This is how I approach everything, is common sense. Common sense would tell you that Barack Obama and his administration did not think that Donald Trump stood a chance to win this election. They didn't take him seriously. They thought he was a joke. They thought that he was going to get blown out of the water. And to be fair, so did I to some extent. Not that I thought he was a joke. I just didn't think that Trump was serious at first. I just didn't. I've been following Donald Trump for a long time. He's a master showman. And I felt like Trump's getting involved to sell a book or to make another hotel, or he's got another reality show, or I don't know what Trump's up to, but it's going to be entertaining to watch. And then when it was clear that he was serious, I was team Trump 100%, but I thought, okay, he's doing really well. But once the numbers dwindle in the terms of like, once, it gets down to Jeb Bush or, Marco Rubio or something, when it's just him versus one other person, I don't think he can win. But he kept doing it. No one thought that this dude could pull it off. So the Obama administration and the Democrats did not think he stood a chance. No one did. Okay. So then he gets the nomination. And then at that point, they're like, well, there's no way he can beat Hillary. And this all happens so fast. And at that point, panic sets in. You're like, oh my God, in their minds anyway, oh my God, this crazy man is going to be the president and he's going to destroy everything that we've done. He's going to destroy everything. We have to destroy him first. And they're caught.
A month after Trump beat Hillary, Barack Obama wasn't satisfied with his intelligence reporting and ordered his CIA director to create a new assessment of how Russia interfered with the election. This was a highly unusual move. John Brennan handpicked 5 CIA analysts to write the assessment, and they were siloed. None of them knew what the other was doing, and only one analyst was in charge of drafting this report. There was nothing routine about this, and it was a rush job to publish before Trump was sworn in. Nothing was coordinated with the other intelligence agencies either. Basically, this was home cooking for Barack Obama. There were 4 key elements from the assessment that were repeated over and over again and formed the basis of the Russia hoax and the Robert Mueller witch hunt. 1, that Vladimir Putin wanted Donald Trump to win. 2, Putin took action to help Trump win. 3, the Russians had blackmail on Trump. That was the Steele dossier. And 4, that the Russians tried colluding with the Trump campaign. None of any of this was ever true.
None of it?
There was
none of it. And again, I think that it's necessary to play this for you one more time, because I know we've had some people that tuned in a little bit late or, whatever. So again, this context is crucial right here. Crucial. This is the media.
To elect Trump is the end of our democracy. Votes were definitely
Well, I know,
affected.
but you're not-
Russia hacked the election to tilt it to Mr. Trump.
The Russians definitively hacked the election.
Russia did hack the election.
No doubt. The Russians hacked the election.
Yes, Russia hacked the election.
Fact, Russia hacked the election.
President-elect Donald Trump still not sounding convinced that Russia hacked the election.
The president does not want to come to terms with the fact that the Russians hacked the election.
President Trump says he still wonders if the Russians hacked the election.
If you can get him to accept that Russia hacked the election, see if you can get him to accept who won the Civil War.
If he admits it, it casts a shadow on his victory over Hillary Clinton.
Russia hacked the election.
Russia hacked the election.
Russia hacked the election.
Russia hacked the election.
Let's be clear, Russia hacked the election. Definitively, Russia hacked the election, and Russia is doing it again now.
Election-related cyber hacking.
Cyber hacking of U.S. elections. Cyber hacking of the election.
Russia was cyber hacking the election.
Russia was cyber hacking the election.
The CIA, the FBI, NSA,
All of these intelligence organizations,
17 intelligence agencies
all conclude that Russia hacked the election.
If we find out that Donald Trump just theoretically was colluding with Russia while they were hacking the election, that is completely impeachable.
This dossier alleged a conspiracy between the Trump campaign and the Russian effort to hack the election.
The director of national intelligence, the head of the National Security Agency, the head of the FBI, all of these intelligence experts saying Russia hacked the election.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane. None of it was true. None of it.
There's no reliable intelligence to support any of these allegations. Senior CIA officials repeatedly refused to traffic in these allegations, but they were repeatedly overruled by CIA Director Brennan and FBI Director Comey, who insisted that they be pushed, even without verifiable evidence. The Obama administration cherry-picked the intelligence, lied about their sources, misquoted sources, didn't corroborate their claims, suppressed intelligence that ran counter to their narratives, and even used anonymous internet postings. Rank and file CIA admitted what they were doing violated their own tradecraft standards. There was a massive pressure campaign that came right from the top. CIA analysts say they received unusual directives from political appointees, the CIA director, and Obama himself. This is how the Russia hoax was born.
Donald Trump knows that the Russians helped him win in 2016.
Ugh, you got to give Jesse, you got to give a fair warning before you do something like that. Jesse, why would you do that? That was very, 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 that was tough.
I was not ready for that. I was not ready for that. What just happened?
That was rough.
I hated Secretary Clinton so much that the flip side of that coin was he had a clear preference for the person running against the person he hated so much.
It was Russia in a very systematic way tried to interfere in the election and to try to advance the prospects of Donald Trump being elected.
This was such a malicious disinformation campaign perpetrated on the American people that at one point, 60% of Democrats believed the Russians hacked our voting machines to help Trump win the White House. What this report actually shows is that the Russians just wanted to create chaos and undermine Americans' faith in democracy. Solid intelligence suggested that Vladimir Putin didn't care who won. He had no preference. But like most people, expected Hillary to win and had a little docket of compromising dirt on her, dirt that he never released. Now, if Putin wanted Trump to win, why didn't Putin drop the dirt?
There were high-level DNC emails that detailed evidence of Hillary's, quote, psycho-emotional problems, uncontrolled fits of anger, aggression, and cheerfulness, and that then Secretary Clinton was allegedly on a daily regimen of heavy tranquilizers. Then CIA Director Brennan and the intelligence community mischaracterized intelligence and relied on dubious substandard sources to create a contrived false narrative that Putin developed a quote-unquote clear preference for Trump.
Now, if Clinton was on tranquilizers like the Russians believed, why didn't they leak it to help Trump win?
How credible was the information about Hillary Clinton's health?
All I have seen is what the intelligence committee have reported through their investigation. I think the underlying point there is that we understand from intelligence what Russia said that they had. And the important point here is that if they were trying to influence the election, as President Obama and James Clapper and John Brennan, everybody said they were doing in order to support Donald Trump's election, they would have released the most damning of that information.
Obama and his spy chiefs knew that Putin didn't prefer Trump over Hillary, but they cooked the intelligence to make it look like he did. Obama and his intel spies knew that Putin didn't collude with Trump and that he didn't even direct his people to help Trump win. But they put it out there anyway. In a sense, Barack Obama.
Everything that we have seen that they have put Trump through, and this just adds even more to it. Like, it is unbelievable what they have put this man through, and he just keeps moving forward. He just will not stop. It's like that clip I showed you earlier with Joe Rogan and Theo Vaughn. He's just insane. It's crazy.
You want to hear something crazy? Trump, at the day of the election, Dana White told me he'd been up for 72 hours.
Unbelievable.
I go, how's that possible? He goes, dude, he's a freak. It's so weird.
Well, yeah, dude, I'll say some things that here's things that, like, whatever you think about, there's things that the guy is as resilient. No one could go through all that shit. When the Justice Department started to fuck him over, that's when a lot of people were like, you know what? The only thing we should be able to believe in this country is at least the justice system. And if they're fucking him over,
right.
And then he got shot at a couple of times, dude. He's a quarter of 50 Cent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's like, so it's like, what else does it, at a certain point, you just like, I got to bet on this dog.
Yeah.
Even if it's like, you don't even like him. It's like, this motherfucker, this dude, you got to bet on that dog. And if not, it's just bizarre,
I mean, the guy gets up and says, fight, 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 after he got shot in the ear. He's not freaking out. He's like, oh my God, I got shot. Get me out of here. They're shooting. He goes, no, stop. Fight.
Yeah.
Fight.
Dude, I stubbed my toe. I called my assistant a faggot. It's like, so yeah, there's something special about that guy.
You want to hear something?
I love that clip so much. It's so good. But like all of this that they're talking about is before we're finding out that the most powerful people in the freaking country, the world, were literally conspiring against him and making things up. It's insane. Harley Dave for 20 says, Jeremy, why would Trump do this? Exactly. Why would Trump do this? It's unbelievable.
What Putin wanted. Undermined Americans' faith in free and fair elections and caused chaos in our country. Barack Obama, the CIA, and the FBI were the ones doing what our enemy wanted.
Do you believe that any of this new information implicates former President Obama in criminal behavior?
We have referred and will continue to refer all of these documents to the Department of Justice and the FBI to investigate the criminal implications of this.
For even former
The
President
evidence,
Obama?
correct. The evidence that we have found and that we have released directly point to President Obama leading the manufacturing of this intelligence assessment. There are multiple pieces of evidence and intelligence that confirm that fact.
Even 2 years later, after the election, Barack Obama was still pushing a hoax he knew wasn't true. And he knew it wasn't true because he helped manufacture it.
Yep.
They're undermining our alliances, cozying up to Russia. What happened to the Republican Party? They're cozying up to the former head of the KGB. Actively blocking legislation that would defend our elections from Russian attack. What happened?
Now, I don't know if it's possible to indict a former president for actions he took while in office. I'm not a lawyer, proudly.
Take it easy, Keenan.
But Brennan, Comey, and others may have severe liability. Trey Gowdy says we know for a fact that Brennan committed perjury when he lied to Congress.
Director Brennan, do you know who commissioned the Steele dossier?
I don't.
You know if the Bureau ever relied on the Steele dossier as part of any court filings, applications?
I have no awareness.
Did the CIA rely on it?
No.
Why not?
because we didn't. It wasn't part of the corpus of intelligence information that we had. It was not in any way used as a basis for the intelligence community assessment that was done. It was not.
No, that's a lie. Whatever happens to these guys is not revenge. It's accountability. And it's time for people to pay the price.
Well said from Jesse Waters. And yeah, like I said, man, this is a huge deal. This is a huge deal. And there's just so much information out there. There's so many things, but this is the former, at the time, he was the current president of the United States of America, conspiring against the duly elected president by the people. He's working against the American people and their voices. There's proof of it. This is insane. Unbelievable. The Royal Reese says, did you ever look up dancing Israelis? I did not. If you want to send that to me on Twitter, you can. Legendary Scrub says, Jeremy is my favorite gay streamer, so proud. Doug says, let's see, thanks for the late night CobraCast, brother. Oh yeah, thank you. I've seen a lot of you in the chat saying that too. I appreciate it. Like, it means a lot to me that people are, happy that we're doing this late at night. So thank you. Little Orphan Funkhauser says, check Tree Bear. Also, please predict Tua and the Dolphins having a bad season so they actually win something this season. Beardo Fat, you're okay. I just want, man, I want the Dolphins to have a good season. I'm going to be paying attention to the Dolphins and the Panthers this year, and the Eagles to a lesser extent. I'm going to cheer for any Bama players, but I still, like, as much as I'm proud that Jalen Hurts is doing well, I can't pretend that I actually believed he was going to be great, and he's not great. He's okay, but I never thought that Jalen Hurts would be doing what he's doing, but I'm happy for him. He's a great guy. Stream Hero says, Jeremy, let's see what you look like with a mullet. Well, we may be there. Legendary Scrub says, Jeremy, what about Brie Larson and woke movies? 2019, Jeremy cared. Eric says, D-Day Cobra, that's why you have a team they can make videos to. Put some trust in the crew. I used to let people make videos for the main channel, but the main channel, as far as specific videos, need to be driven by me. But that's why we have all the spinoff channels and things like that. Matt says, you're my hero. Well, thank you. I don't know why, but I appreciate it. The Under Armour Gamer says, do you think a political channel with AI would work? I want to do my own politics channel, but I have cerebral palsy. Yes, it can. There's a lot of political channels that are not even political. There's just a lot of YouTube channels that use AI, and it's about information. Information is the most important thing. So, yeah, absolutely it can. And I would encourage you to do that if you're interested. Coop says, Jeremy show Gutfeld going off today. I don't have that clip. If somebody can tag me on that on Twitter, I would happily look at that. Neil says, DOJ officially formed a strike force to analyze the DNI evidence and assess which charges they can file. It might take another month. 80 plus targets. Yeah. I know it's going to take time, and that's the thing. A lot of people that are following this, they don't think they just want it to happen like that because we're in the TikTok world, the social media world, where we just want results right now. This stuff does take time. Scotty Dew says, look up Place Boeing song, Trump, Russia, possible collusion. I will look that up. Magnum Norris says, Obama is a communist, so I'm not surprised about his activities, but Hillary pressured him. So where is that evidence? There's probably going to be a lot more evidence that drops. Mall Kiosk Guy says, Obama is innocent. I would show you a video, but you just played it. Are you closer now? Are you now saved? Mall Kiosk Guy. Thank you. Isaac says, I'm celebrating my 20th week in a row of podcasting. It's Monday. What advice would you give to a new streamer in the culture war arena like me? Thanks. Well, first of all, congratulations, brother. I always give, so I don't mean this to be like a downer to people, but like I say this to give you the importance of what truly matters. When you are starting out and when you are building an audience, the audience doesn't give a shit about you. And I mean that because they care about the content that you're providing. Over time, the audience will care about you. But when you're starting out and when you're trying to build that audience, they don't care about you. They're there for whatever content you're there to provide. So provide the content that you're promising. Don't spend time talking about things that you're not promising when you're building your audience. So that was always, so if if you have a set of topics, present those topics and don't spend time on anything else except those topics until you've earned that audience's trust. Then you can spend more time on random other things, stuff like that. Also, audience engagement, talking to the chat, acknowledging them, letting them have some control over the show, which is what Geeks and Gamers is defined by. Like, our chat literally runs our fucking shows for the most part, especially Tuesday night's main event. But yeah, I mean, the audience is the only reason that you have a platform, so you can never ever lose sight of the audiences and the audience and their importance to your show. But yeah, always deliver on the goods that you're promising from a standpoint of content, because that's what's going to draw them in, the content. So if you're going to talk about, Obama and Russia collusion, or if you talk about Epstein or whatever, talk about those things. Make sure that you actually deliver on what you're promising, and they'll come back. And the more they come back and then they get to know you more, then they may want to find out more about you. But at first, they don't give a shit about you, and they shouldn't. They care about the content that you're, wanting to provide. The content that you're promising to provide. Piano Dean for 20 says, I've never had a good answer when I'm asked, how do you do what you do? I'll tell you this much. It involves a loud gang, 2 cartoons of duck eggs, and a lampshade. Rest is up to you to figure out, but it's not rocket science. Thank you, Piano Dean. Piano Dean has some of the most interesting comments on this channel. Harley Dave says, Jeremy's my favorite retail streamer. Look at that. Look at that. That's awesome. Slain Hope says, Trump's blacker than Obama. That mugshot made bank. Windmills says, if Trump can be detained and photographed, Obama can be arrested. I agree completely. Legendary Scrub says, just get Ben to make videos for the main channel. Yeah, I'll just end the channel at that point. Harley Dave says, government is supposed to move slowly. Be happy for that. Agreed. Jeremy the Cyborg says, holy crap, 200cc is insane on MK8. Yes, it is. And that's what we want to go back to. Like, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is a better game than Mario Kart World. It just is. I like Mario Kart World. I love Mario Kart World, but 8 Deluxe is just a better game. It just is. Isaac says, thank you so much, man. We'll follow that advice. Hey, man, good luck, brother. And always around for any other questions, to answer any other questions, if I can answer them. Some I can't because I'm retarded, but some I try to. Let's see. The Hypocritic Oaf says, mate, I've got to say the last Tuesday night's main event with Bro Island stuff was funny AF. You lot are great entertainment. I saw a lot of you in the comments were saying that was the best main event ever. I gotta say, I was very happy with that main event because we spent a good amount of time on actual topics for sure. And then we still, got into the memes and the jokes and all of that. That was one of the best episodes of Tuesday night's main event I think we've had in a long time. And the audience definitely loved it as well. So I was very, very happy. I was very happy. Let's see. Isaac says, you son of a Alec Baldwin's finger. Show the Bro Island pic from Tuesday night's main. I showed that earlier. And the chat got really mad at me because you cursed us. You cursed the entire chat with that one, Jeremy the Cyborg. It was awful. And I'm going to do it again. I'm definitely going to do it again. By the way, ABF, did you ever get an answer back on the situation on your YouTube channel with what happened? Did you ever get an answer? I'm curious about that. So again, Jeremy the Cyborg. No, show it on main event. Oh, okay. This is what Jeremy the Cyborg wants me to show on main event. Bro Island gay travel guide. God. That is terrible. That is absolutely terrible. Slain Hope says Trump has multiple photos worthy of rap CD covers. He absolutely does. Did ABF respond? It was denied by YouTube. All right. Hit me up. Well, I'm out of town right now, but like, let's try to get together like sometime early next week. Because I'll run some stuff by you from my perspective on it. So, because I don't want to see your channel continue to get in trouble. So, but getting denied simply means that AI probably looked at it like usual. You know, that means AI probably looked at it and got denied. So, yeah, I'll get with you. We'll talk. So, Tinhead says, I have an interview for a new job. Wish me luck. Brother, let's make it happen. Tinhead. I was always good at job interviews. And key thing is go in there, be 5 minutes early. Okay. Because if you're not 5 minutes early, you're 10 minutes late. So be 5 minutes early to your job interview. And make sure, not like in the parking lot, like be in there, actually make it 10 minutes. 10 minutes early. Get in there 10 minutes early and make sure that they know that you're there 10 minutes early. That sets a good tone and a good example. All right. Make eye contact when you go in there to meet the person you're interviewing with. Shake their hand and make eye contact. And when you're talking to them, make sure that you make eye contact when you're talking to them. I don't know what type of job it's for, but if it's anything to do with customer service or any interactions, you want them to know that you're assertive from that perspective. So firm handshake, eyes on their eyes, show up 10 minutes early and make sure they know that you're there 10 minutes early. There you go. So, let me see. That's right, Harley Dave. If you're not early, you're late. And to be fair, like, I'm never late for live streams because I want my audience to know how much I care. I'm never late. All right? Never late for my live streams. I learned that from Gary. Don't say gamer words. That's good advice. That's very good advice. All right? Are people really crying that South Park's making fun of Trump? If they are, they're pathetic losers. I haven't spent enough time on Twitter to see, but I'm just telling you right now, I don't know what South Park said about Trump. It doesn't matter. If you're crying about South Park making fun of Trump, you are a pathetic loser because South Park makes fun of everyone. I am the biggest Michael Jackson fan, and their episodes with Michael Jackson are some of the funniest fucking episodes of all time. And they completely destroyed Michael Jackson. Like, it was so bad what they did to Michael. And it was so funny. It was so funny. Oh my gosh. Don't be ignorant. Don't be ignorant. So good, man. But yeah, so if anybody's like, if there's any clown that's like a Trump supporter and they're claiming they're offended by this, it's absolutely insane. Frank says, did you hear about what South Park did to Trump? Well, I mean, I know that they've got him on there. I've seen like people reacting to it, but it doesn't matter what they did. It's South Park. This is what South Park does. Nobody is off limits. So, let me see. I always hire people that are dressed for success. That's true. That is true. Okay. Well, it's almost 2 a.m. here where I'm at. So I'm going to end it. I've got a long day tomorrow, hanging out with family. I am spending some time with family, but I'm trying to get as many streams as I can in because I don't believe in days off when you have the easiest job in the world, which is what I have. So I don't believe in days off necessarily. I don't know how much time I'll get for a live stream during the day tomorrow, but maybe tomorrow night I'll be able to do one. Look at his Comedy Central roast. It's just fun. Yes, his Comedy Central roast is great. No, thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Lance, and everybody. Aaron James, what's up? Mary, Astral Chain, iCrux. At least the music's good. Am I going to review Fantastic Four? I'm going to try to go see it. Like I said, I'm out of town with family right now, but that is part of like, I definitely want to make more content for the main channel. So I would like to go see Fantastic Four and maybe do a video on it for the main channel. I've heard it's pretty good. So we'll see. Listen, I like Thunderbolts. All right. Not a lot of people in our sphere like Thunderbolts. I like Thunderbolts. I didn't love it, but it was fine. So Coop says you forgot my $10 super again. Coop got me on that one last time. I respect it. But for real, Coop, all the stuff you said in that super chat earlier, brother, prayers up for you. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being here. Thanks for trolling me all the time, as you always do. It's good stuff, man. So I'm glad that you find a little bit of, I'm glad it takes you away from the real world a little bit here to hang out with us, bullshit, meme, talk about some serious stuff. But, obviously laugh about some stuff too. So, all right, guys, thank you so much. Really do appreciate it. I hope you have a good night, and we will talk to all of you later. Bye, everyone.